All right, all right, all right. So here we are for our open discussion. Telling the news 2 or 3 times a day. People want to express themselves, they want to ask questions. Sometimes I want to break down what I think about certain things, and I don't want to do it while I'm presenting the news. So I'm going to start every afternoon, every evening, night, around this time, either 8:30, 9:30, 10 at night, so that we could just have an open discussion and it'll be clear that some of the things said is not the news. So I'm trying to separate conversations and ideas and rumors from the news, right? So that's what's going on with that. So if you have any questions concerning the war and what's going on with anything concerning that, we'll answer them. Anything else will be ignored. Okay? We will stay on subject because that's best for our audience. So I'm going to go through some of the news stories from today. It's already tomorrow in Iran right now. So I will begin to bring in those news stories as soon as possible. China asked Iran to end the war. Yeah, a lot of people want the war end because it's disrupting global business. It's disrupting fertilizer for one. That China probably buys a lot of that fertilizer or sells some of the products used to make those fertilizers. So this has a global economic effect. And so everybody in the world has some interest in this war ending because the world is all tied together economically. But the Iranians have not been acting in a way that the global society is willing to accept. So today, so far in the news, was United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby is preparing for the worst, a future where oil prices reach as high as $175 per barrel and stay above 100 until the end of 2027. So he's saying that your flights are going to be very expensive. Very expensive. And the airlines is already messed up. People are lined up like crazy trying to get on planes. Good to see you, Alexis. Always a pleasure. So if you see anything that happened today and you want to talk about it or anything at all, just let loose in the comment section, all right? A series of strikes hit Beirut's southern suburb on early Tuesday. The first attack on a Hezbollah stronghold in days, as Israel's military said it captured 2 members of the Iran-backed group in southern Lebanon. The Israeli military also announced it was striking Hezbollah infrastructure in Beirut after having called on residents to leave the southern suburbs beforehand. Now, that situation between Israel and Lebanon and Hezbollah is a separate war. And sometimes they don't clarify that. That is a separate war that they've been having. And so Israel is helping the United States with the war against Iran and fighting their own personal war against Hezbollah in Lebanon. And they've said that when the war is over in Iran, the war will not be over with Hezbollah. Now, it does tie together because Hezbollah is trying to take advantage of Israel being busy with Iran. And Hezbollah is funded by terrorism in Iran. Iran funds lots of terrorism around the world. They're pretty much a menace. I'm only really answering questions concerning this. This is it says open discussion, war in Iran. Okay, this is an open discussion about the war in Iran. That's it. You good? So, also in the news, I'm going to go through some news in case it stimulates conversation, in case you got questions. Iran has fired multiple waves of missiles at Israel, with reports of an impact in the country's north and an explosion heard in central Tel Aviv. So Iran is firing missiles at Israel. Israel is fighting Iran, and Israel is fighting Lebanon, Hezbollah. I think Israel destroyed a bridge to make it so they can't cross over. It's rough for Israel right now. In Kuwait, power lines were hit from air defense shrapnel, causing partial electricity outages for several hours. So Kuwait ended up having some electrical problems. War causes a lot. War causes a lot. Iraq just declared war on the U.S. I have to verify that. So I would have to verify that. There's so much news going around that's not official, so I have to be very careful. They're saying all type of stuff. So I have to verify this stuff because it does get a little crazy. So missile alert sirens sounded in Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia's defense ministry said it had destroyed 19 Iranian drones targeting its oil-rich eastern province. What do I think about a draft coming for this war? Uh, a draft was coming anyway, and the war just speeded it up. The draft was coming anyway. Yeah, that's an ex post. Uh, about Iraq. That's not official. Yeah, that's the Iraq declared war is not official. Yeah, that's not official. A lot of YouTubers just say anything. But as far as the draft was coming anyway. So this just speeded it up, but the draft was coming anyway. They want to get some of these young men off the streets. They want to put them in the military, especially the ones that's committing a bunch of crimes. They want to take a bunch of them out the penitentiary, rehabilitate them, and send them to war. We got a lot of young men running around shooting. So the government's attitude is, oh, you want to shoot? Okay. So that was coming anyway, with all the gun violence across the country, with men, and not just black men, white men too. It's too much gun violence. You know what I'm saying? It's too much gun violence, and they've been trying to figure out how to do that, but everybody's too fat. Men today are in the worst shape in the history of the country. They can't even pass basic training. You know, so a lot of them, they're gonna have to go through a. They're gonna have to create a different basic training. Some of them it's gonna take a year before they're able to go to combat. They're gonna have to lose weight. They're not war ready. They can't shoot. They don't have discipline. It's going to be hard to get a lot of these men uh, to become soldiers. They just don't have it. The young generation of men is the worst men we've ever produced in the history of this country. They're just horrible. They have no discipline. They don't believe in rank and file. They don't follow orders. They're out of shape. They're emotional. They'll get out there and start crying like little girls. They're not even built like that. So they're going to be working hard. It's going to take hard work. It's going to be hard work. Yeah, everything they do, they do it, and they're girly. They can shoot, but they can't take the responsibility from it. They don't follow orders. I wouldn't want to be their commander. Oh my God. They feel like you can't tell them what to do. It's like, fool, don't you know you in the army now? What? But what they'll do is they'll go to federal prison. They'll go to military prison. They will go to prison. So they think it's good to get out of regular prison until they go there and don't follow orders and go to military prison. Because that's where they're going to go. That paperwork that they sign, it ain't going to be the paperwork people been signing. So under these conditions, if you agree to go to war, to go to military, I would advise you to read that paperwork closely because they already know it's a bunch of idiots. So that paperwork is going to be serious. No, they're not going to be that. That's not true. That's not true. That's people don't even use cannons anymore, and there's nobody's going to just put people out there like that. Don't listen to this person. He does not know what he's talking about. Nobody's just going to put men out there just to get wasted. The object of the war is to try to win. So that's ridiculous, okay? Come over here with some maturity and not no emotional nonsense, okay? Come over here with something intelligent. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a lot of patience for nonsense. There's nobody gonna draft you and just put you out there. Yeah, you're a former Marine. What the hell that mean? You wasn't cannon fodder, so you just talking. Were you cannon fodder? Yes or no? I got to get rid of you. Were you cannon fodder? Were you and your men cannon fodder? Yes or no? Yes or no? Were you cannon fodder? I'm talking about the term, the disrespectful term you use. Did the military just put you out there to get shot? Yes or no? No. So stop lying to these people. Yeah, listen, come back tomorrow. I don't believe you. Yeah, I don't be doing no clown stuff. You know what I'm saying? He lying. Ain't no military just putting you out there. You know what I'm saying? They're not just putting you out there to get unalive. That's ridiculous, okay? He talking stupid. You know what I'm saying? He made it back home alive. He was not no cannon fodder, okay? Just talking. And was a horrible Marine, right? Didn't deserve to be in the U.S. military. Disrespectful to his service as a military man. So he's definitely not a good military soldier. He doesn't have the soul. He wasn't never a good soldier. When's the last time a country declared war on the USA? The last war we was in some wars. I don't know who declared it, but we was in Iraq. We was in Iraq. We was in Afghanistan. Now, I don't know who declared what, but we've been to war. They raised their enlistment age to 42. They probably had to, everybody. The men ain't in no type of shape, mentally or physically. So they got to work hard to find people fit for the job. You just seen somebody say he was a Marine and disrespected his uniform and disrespected the military. Say you're a Marine. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't fit to be no Marine. If that's his mentality, he wasn't fit for the job. You couldn't depend on him. You wouldn't want him to be defending you in this country. I told you that. That's for sure. You wouldn't want him defending your country. He hates the military but jumped his ass in it. You know what I'm saying? Total loser. You know what I'm saying? You signed up for something, now you hated it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he lying. He wasn't no damn Marine. Ain't no real Marine would say that. Ain't no Marine would say that. What war was that? You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing nothing but at the kitchen table playing Battleship, Stratego. You know what I'm saying? He on the video game. He on the video game. You know what I'm saying? He been on the video game playing war on the TV. Also, a lot of stuff. Let me see. Israeli strike early Tuesday on a residential apartment. Unalived some people. That was in the news. Bahrain says its forces has intercepted 153 missiles. That was in the news. Yeah, the enlistment age is 42. Yeah, they want to get a lot of these. They want to get a lot of these men out of here and active. They just eating up food and they ain't bringing nothing to the table. Yes, Stratego is one of the best mind games you could play because you can't see the other soldier. It's really hard. Chess, you could see who's the king and who's the queen. Stratego is the most difficult war game ever because you don't know who the other soldier is. You got to really be thinking. Yeah, I would advise all fathers, buy that. If you got a son, buy that and play that with your son. Teach him how to think. Because you're going against soldiers, but you can't see who they are. It's like real war. You can't see who you're going against. So let me see. Did I have any questions I missed? Do you think the Iran mission and oil refinery explosion in Port Arthur, Texas is related? Could be. Could be. Let me see. Could be. Explosion at oil refinery, large blast. Yeah, could be. Residents is being told to shelter in place. And so for them to be told to shelter in place sounds like the government thinks it could be. Because I don't see why they would tell them to shelter in place. If it's an explosion over there, what they got to do with you over there? So for them to tell everybody in the city or in the area to shelter in place, that means they think it could have something to do with it. For sure. Because when you're dealing with when you're dealing with war on a religious side, it gets a little crazy. Because some people take it as an attack on Islam. So you're going to get it's going to be a long summer. You're going to have to be careful. You're going to have to be careful because I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but under Islam, they have encouraged that type of mindset. It's a part of it. And I'm not saying all Muslims is like that, but it's a part of that faith. The whole misrepresentation of jihad is a part of that. And so, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. A lot of them been over here. A lot of people been over here. Some might have just came. Then we have people that got mental illnesses, and then, like I said, we have plants. We got insurgents over here. Which is one reason I love America, because that ain't gonna work if Americans get nervous, right? If Americans get nervous, it's not going to be really necessarily cool to be identified as a Muslim, because both sides might got lunatics. You ain't the only one side that got lunatics. You got lunatics on the other side that might declare war on you too, and your numbers ain't big enough over here. It's a bunch of atheists over here and some Christians. So if we become nervous, that's going to go bad too. For sure. Because under wars, rules get broken. Under wars, rules get broken. They'll mess around and put you in concentration camps. They'll start around, it gets crazy in war times. And they go from one extreme to another. They'll start putting you in concentration camps. Yeah, they frame it like that because this is how Islam has been identifying itself. I've been saying that for years. Swords all on the flags, in the end of jihad, I have a friend, he's a Muslim, and we used to all hang together, some Hebrew Israelite brothers, Rasta brothers, Kemetic brothers, and the Muslim brother. And we was talking about, the mark of the beast in the end. And he said, at the end, it's going to be the sword for everybody. See what I'm saying? And my attitude was like, oh, I should get at you now. Like, What we waiting for the end for? You know what I mean? I didn't really like that because I took it as a threat. You know what I'm saying? They're going to let women be drafted. Yeah. They need nurses. They need women. They ain't going to put them in battle, though. They're not, just because you get drafted don't mean you're going to be on the front lines or not like that. So getting drafted and actually be in action is two different things. They won't be just drafting women because they ain't gonna draft mothers. If you got babies, they ain't drafting mothers. If she got babies, they ain't gonna draft you if you got babies. You're gonna have no children. They ain't just putting you on the battlefield. Nobody want to lose while you out there and you weak. So for them to put a woman on the battlefield, yeah, they need women to cook and do nursing and stuff like that. But for them to put you on the battlefield, whether you're a man or a woman, you're gonna have to be cut out for it. But they will have women working on like battleships and firing rockets at you and stuff. And in them jets, they'll have them in them jets. A woman could be in them jets and put the scope on you and boom. So they're gonna have them. They're gonna have them in that machinery though, but they might gonna have them in foot battle. But they're gonna have them in the field as far as with the jets. Yeah, they're gonna have them women flying them jets, blowing you up. Yes, as long as she good at it, she got the job. She get in that jet 4 knots right. Go ahead. Fire. Boom. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey man, let me tell you something, man. Because you know some of these women, man, they gonna blow you to smithereens, boy. I'm gonna tell you, like some of these women, they built like that. 40 knots. A professional is a professional. You know what I'm saying? A professional is a professional. Drones, they'll be doing the drones. You know what I'm saying? All of that. They just won't put her in no foot combat, but it ain't gonna really be no too much foot combat. But this war ain't gonna go like that because this is a war where they not trying to fight, and I keep trying to say that this is not a war on Iran. This is a war on they just trying to extract the corrupt Iranian leadership. This is not a war on Iran. They just trying to extract the leadership. They trying to save Iranians. So it's not a war on Iran. This is the reason this is going on. According to reports from January 2026, an estimated 30,000 to over 35,000 protesters was unalived in Iran. 30 to 35. This is why they went in there. So that side is what's going to run that country. All America's trying to do is weaken the terrorist regime so that the people can take their country back. America's not there to take the country. America's there to weaken their military so that the people of Iran can take the country from their terrorist government. I keep saying that. Now, I can't imagine that because you can't do that in the military. So I mean, it's not funny because it's not realistic. You're in the military. You don't get to dress any kind of way you want in the military. I know you know that. So this what's going on. They're just trying to help the country get liberated. Yeah, they updated the total. Yep. Yep. Remember, it was 7,000 and the estimate. Remember, it was an estimate. Remember, it was 7,000 and an estimated 11,000. So they were saying it's estimated 18,000. You know what I'm saying? But now they saying it ain't 18,000. They saying it's 30 to 35,000 people that they eliminated. So this is why I'm trying to tell people that they're just trying to extract. They're not trying to hurt those people. So it's not a war against Iranians. It's a war against that regime. They're trying to get rid of that regime. Right? So if you've been paying attention, right? They've been saying Trump is having talks with the Iranians. The Iranians saying, no, Trump ain't having no talk with us. Y'all been seeing that? Trump is saying that he's having productive talk with the Iranians. The Iranians saying, no, you know why? Trump ain't talking to those Iranians. He's talking to the Iranians that's going to take over the government. In case you're confused about that. You see, Trump saying we're having good conversations with the Iranians. The Iranians saying we ain't talked to them. But what they're not telling you is Trump talking to the new regime that's going to be in office. He ain't talking to them other ones. That's what's going on. That's why Trump said, yeah, we're having good discussions with the Iranians. Those are the Iranians that's going to replace the other ones. Now, this is why I'm telling people, he's not going to tell you all of that. This is why I'm trying to tell my subscribers. Yeah, they say he's not in communication with the current leadership. No, he's in communication with the new leadership. You know what I'm saying? And exactly, Goshen, he's not in communicate with the current leadership. He's in communication with the new leadership. So that's why things is going crazy in Kurdistan, because they the ones training the new leadership. You got it? They're the ones, the Kurdish people from the Kurds were brought in to train the new leadership. These are the things they don't want to tell you. You understand? That's what's going on. Okay? You see, I just talked about that. Okay, that's what's going on. The Kurds, that's why they're attacking the Kurds now. You notice they attacked the Kurds? You see? That's why Iranians attacking the Kurds, because the Kurds, right? See? Which leadership is controlling the Strait of Hormuz? The leadership that's going to be decimated. That's easy to answer. The ones they finna unalive. Duh. Yeah, the ones they finna unalive. They got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s. When the Marines get there in a couple of days, hit me back. Hit me back when the new ships get there with the Marines. It's gonna be real quiet in the strait. Real quiet. They're bringing, you know what I'm saying? They bringing them amphibian boats. Ain't gonna be no more getting out there in that strait, putting no mines out there. None of that. All that's gonna be over. When them 2,000 Marines get there, it's gonna be a wrap. They coming with them little boats. They couldn't stop them in the big Navy ships. They coming to Marines and them amphibious boats. So take your Iranian butt and get in one of them little boats and go out there when the Marines get there. You and that boat gonna be in the bottom of the strait. You gotta understand military. See, for the young men watching me, don't let these people fool you when something happened and the U.S. get hit. It's a war. And war these days upgrades. It's 2026. It's not World War II. So a country like the U.S., the way they fight war is they go in and then they adjust. So they came in. To get in, you got to get rid of the Navy. So the first thing they did was decimate the Navy. Now, once you decimate the Navy, now your ships can come in with all your planes. Now you can't make no moves because of the Air Force. Step 2, decimate the Air Force. Wow, they did that. Step 3, decimate land to air missiles. Bang, they did that. So people in Iran got all of these drones, but they hide them in these mountains. Step number 4, blow up all the mountains, blow up all their stash spots with their drones. That's where they at now. They're still working on that. They knocked a bunch of them out, but Iran's a big country. It's going to take a while to find all of them. Right now, they're knocking out the drones. Iran is panicking, so they go now and start putting water mines in the strait because they can't win no other kind of way. The U.S. goes strategically and surgically make changes. I bring in the Marines. The Marines is the adaptation to the straits being closed. Oh, you close the straits? The Navy's on some big old ships. Y'all on some little boats putting in water mines? All right, bring the Navy and bring the amphibious raft boats. You know, the Navy going to be on them rafts and them small military boats, not the big Navy ships. So now they bringing in the little boats. And they finna isolate that whole surrounding. So now it's gonna be dangerous for them to even come by that water. That whole perimeter is finna be shut down. Iranians not gonna even be able to get to the water. No, a lot of that stuff is fake. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff is fake news. So I don't be reporting it. A lot of stuff is fake news. Like when you go and you see a story like that, if you don't see it in 5 or 6 locations, it's fake. Anything that's real gonna be in 5 or 6 locations. It's gonna be in the whole world news. It's gonna be told. It's gonna be told overseas. It's gonna be told in America. It's gonna be told everywhere. those stories be fake. I pass up all those stories. Those stories, they're going to be real. Them stories be fake. If England ain't reporting it, France ain't reporting it, Spain ain't reporting it, if they not Germany, if they not reporting it, and it's a YouTube video, because a lot of that is YouTube video. Now, Iran ain't got nothing. Iran got trash. I know you're a fan, but if you think Iran got the same equipment the U.S. military, that just says a lot about you. Look, he think Iran got the exact same military as the U.S. That's what he think. I don't be wanting to talk to people that's not watching the story because they going out on little fishing boats. So what do you mean they got the same boats? Bro, they going out there on little raggedy fishing boats putting them water mines out there. What are you talking about? Okay, let me get rid of that. Sometimes when you're a fan or you anti-USA, you just be saying anything. He don't even know what's going on. They going out on little fishing boats. They not going out on no amphibious boats out in that water. You got to study before you come over here talking. They going out in little bitty fishing boats, dropping them things in the water. They not going out in no amphibious boats out there. Get your facts straight. What's my thoughts on cutting the underwater internet cables? Hey, man, they got to do what they got to do. They do what they got to do. If they do go too egregious, things going to go bad. If the current regime go too far, even the Iranians that America is trying to get ready to take over, they'll be in danger too. If they go too far, it's going to be all bets is off. They're going to blow the whole place up. They're going to be like, we tried to help y'all take over, but they tripping. Our advice, evacuate. That was going to happen. If the current regime go too far, the U.S. going to tell Iranians, evacuate. You got 48 hours to leave Iran. And they're going to decimate the whole place. That was going to happen. And you can come back and we'll put you in power when we done. If they go too far and they actually really become a threat to the U.S., they're going to level it. They ain't going to keep fighting like they fight now. That's why I try to tell people just talking, you don't understand the United States. Like the United States really don't play like that. If it get where it's too much out of hand, they gonna level the whole place before they take a L. Now, if they can strategically put some more Iranians in power, they'll do it. But if the ones in power go too far, they're gonna have to stop them by any means. Period. So the order gonna be evacuate. They'll go in, they'll have the new leadership, they'll have the military fly them out. Get them out of here. We'll bring y'all back when it's over. That's what they'll do. And like if I'm supposed to be the next leader and the current one's in there going too much, they'll come get me. They'll fly me out. Bro, go talk to somebody else. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. The boats that they putting them water mines in there ain't none of that stuff you talk about, bro. Stop trying to interrupt me. You don't know what you're talking about. Go get you a channel, bro, and teach. You don't know what you're talking about. The people that they go in there to stop is in little fishing boats. They ain't in them boats you talking about. And them boats you talking about ain't coming out there with the Navy, out there Navy ships. So, bro, just be quiet. Well, you can't talk no more. I just shut you up. Come back tomorrow. Just talking crazy. A cheerleader for, some of these people don't know where they live at. They might not live in the U.S. because it's the internet. And we got people out here hate the U.S. You know what I'm saying? Because the U.S. is better than where they live at. So, you got a lot of haters. You don't know where they from. I don't be want to talk to you. I got to know who you are, where you from. You know what I'm saying? You might be funny style. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you. But I know you got a reason for picking a side like that. Especially a lot of religious, a lot of these religious dudes, they all in their feelings. So I don't be want to talk to you. I got to know what you is. But I know me and you, when you cheering against the U.S., you cheering against me and my children. That gonna go sideways, though. That gonna go sideways. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I'm gonna look at it. You cheering for me and you cheering against me and my sister live here, all my relatives. I'm taking it just like that. That's why when I see Americans cheering against the United States, I think something wrong with them. They cheering for their own family to be decimated by, you know what I'm saying? What's wrong with you? Who lives somewhere and cheer against where they live at? Like, yeah, I hope they blow me up, Crazy, crazy. I don't even want to talk to you. Looking at me crazy because I'm looking at the USA, supporting the USA, and not living in the USA. And you think it's something wrong with me supporting where I live at to not get destroyed. What? Make that make some type of sense. Because I speak for a lot of Americans. If it get crazy, we going to get in it. Anyway, that's how we roll. We bout that life over here. See, this ain't 1960 America, this 2026 America. Don't you know a lot of men today are go get in that? Why don't you move over there? Why don't you move over there? He said Iran ain't playing no games like America is. That kind of weirdo. He said Iran ain't playing no games. Let me ask you a question. Is America playing games? Is the United States playing games? Yes or no? I'm going to give you a minute to answer. Is the United States playing games? Because I don't understand what you're saying. Are you insinuating the United States playing games? Because all Iran's leadership. Oh, okay. Well, you got to go. Yeah, you got to go. Yeah, you got to go. I'm American. I ain't playing soft. Look how I got you out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. He said America playing soft and America is unalive all Iran's leadership. You know what I'm saying? Some of these dudes, they is emotional. You understand? You don't make no sense. What do you mean America playing soft and they done wiped out their Navy, wiped out their Air Force, blowing up all they he called that soft. You know why he says soft? He ain't watching it. He don't know what's going on. He just talking. A lot of these people coming over here, they are not watching this like I'm watching it. You understand? They're not watching. You can tell if somebody's watching it and when somebody's not. You understand? You know what I'm saying? You can tell who's watching this. Like they've been decimating them people because what they did was the U.S. went after the military, went after where your weapons was at. They had the Israeli Secret Service go after the leadership. So as soon as they wiped out the first leaders, they wiped them all out at one time. They got the new leader and they hit him. You ain't seen him since. They say his face disfigured and his leg almost off. He talk about playing. Boy, they not playing. The next leader won't even show his face. Y'all ain't know that. Whoever the next leader, don't nobody know that. He like, listen, no leader want to step up no more. Yeah, if that's playing, I don't know what you call it. Because, you know, a lot of people don't know, like when it comes to like the CIA and that type of stuff, Israel's up at the top when it comes to espionage. A lot of people don't know that. Like when it comes to spies and stuff like that, Israel is in the top 3, might be number 1. I'm telling you, that's why they had them. You get rid of the leadership. I mean, every time a new leader came, Israel wiped them out immediately the same day. They wiped out the original leader. They put another leader in there. He had a meeting with like 9 people. They eliminated all of them. All of them. Then they put the other dude in there. They done blew him up. We ain't seen him. Some people say he unalive, and they just don't want to tell nobody. And they ain't announced a new leader yet. Man, these people, and then you know what? You know they slow, because why would in wartime, why would you get on here and let the FBI know you anti-American? Some of these people is down. Boy, listen, to my subscribers, man, is you crazy? This is the wrong time to be anti-American. If you could be that, but don't tell nobody. They all on here. FBI, I hate America. CIA, Secret Service, I hate America. With your IP address. Now, why would I listen to you tell me about war when you on your IP address denouncing a country that know where you at? Why would I listen to you? You obviously don't know nothing about war. Something wrong with you. You don't know nothing about war. I don't even want to talk to you. You bad. How you know something about war? You got your IP address and you talking against the United States in the middle of a very serious war that is obviously escalating on the espionage tip. And you try to tell me something about war. You'll hear America's soft. I hold that thought. No. Crazy. Because I've been telling my people, you don't got to be for America. Just don't tell nobody you against them. Just be quiet. You know, I could be against it. I could see myself being against it. I wouldn't tell y'all. I wouldn't get on here and tell nobody. If I was against America in the war, you said, Pharaoh, what you think about the war? I'd be like, I don't know. I would never, boy, listen, boy, I'm not getting on here in no wartime. These people don't know nothing about wartime. Wartime, they grabbing anybody that's a suspected enemy. They will grab you for real. Like, for real. Like right now, you will get arrested for real right now. They're looking for real threats in this country. They just had the situation in Texas. Hey, they looking for whoever that is, and anybody in Texas talking sideways, they finna kick their door open. Am I lying? Man, listen. Let's take a break. I got friends and I know people that if I was hanging out, they was at my place or if I was at their place, and this conversation even just came up at all, they would excuse themselves. They don't even want to be in the presence of the conversation, period. They would excuse themselves. My mother was one of them, because my mother worked for the government. And at this conversation, she would excuse herself. She wouldn't want to hear it. She wouldn't want to talk about it. She wouldn't want to be in the room, period. And she was high-ranking government official. She don't want to hear it. I got people that I know, I ain't going to say who, that's government officials, and I don't know they government officials. But I know they government officials, but I don't know what they do. I just put it like that. You ever been around somebody that don't discuss their job at all? All right then. You don't know where they actually work at? Man, if they want to go against their own country, if they do it on social media, you got to stay away from them. Because when you're dealing with a war, King Hazy, you're dealing with like uncharted waters. So it could turn really bad, really, really quickly. Like it could turn bad quickly. So it's just something you don't want to be on record saying nothing anti, because if it's any type of attack over here, they grabbing everybody says something anti, you going bye-bye. You're going bye-bye. I'm just telling you, going bye-bye. If they got any social media record of you, right, saying anything, they'll come get you. You'll be in a concentration camp. Nobody knew about the level of these wars until the wars was over. I'm just telling you, when there's wars, you don't know the story till it's over. So we don't know where this is going. Like, we don't know where this is going. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to make no mistakes because I don't know where it's going. It could go real left, like real left. real left. Hey, after 9/11, right? My daughter, my oldest daughter, she don't live there no more. She was moving to Seattle, Washington. So I had to drive her car there with her and her child. So I drove her car there straight, nonstop. Drove right to the airport, got out the car, and got on the plane, right? So I drove all the way from from Chicago to Seattle, Washington. So I was whooped. I was gone. So I get on the plane, right? My last name El-Aton. So back then, anytime I'm getting on the plane, they would take me out the line and make me go in another room because I guess that El-Aton name sound like, like some foreign, you know what I mean? So I'm on the plane, right? This real talk. So I'm whooped. I can't focus on nothing. I'm getting ready to fall asleep, wait for the plane take off. So this white dude, he comes and sit right next to me, right? So he started talking. He did it real slick. But I'm so tired. I'm like, man, I'm just talking to him. I'm like, man, I drove my daughter all the way in non-stop. I could barely stay awake. Why? I go to sleep. Boom. I'm out. I get to Chicago. I wake up. I go home. When I get home, after about an hour and a half, I'm like, that was the air marshal or the CIA or FBI or somebody. I ain't realized it was the police until I got home and been home about an hour and a half or 2 hours. I was so tired, I didn't give a damn what he was. You know what I'm saying? But when I got home after about 2 hours, I'm like, oh, that was the feds. Sat right next to me. That was the feds. He sat right next to me. And I know when he seen me, he's like, nah, he out of there. Yeah, he ain't no threat. He gone. He gone. And it wasn't until I got all the way home 2 hours later, I was like, oh yeah, he was real slick though. But he was the police. He was asking me questions. But I was so tired, I was like, dude, all I know is I'm tired. I drove all the way. I kept, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what's going on. I'm telling you, man, I just drove all the way from Chicago here straight. Can you believe that? I'm so crazy. I don't even know he the police. He's like, are you kidding? I'm like, no, man, I am so tired. And I'm gone. I was gone before we got in the air. I was out of there. I was exhausted. And I was home 2 hours before I said, oh, that was the police. So they not playing. Like, you saying anything on this social media? Come on, man. Man, I was out of there. And I was mad because my daughter had got on my nerve. I was so mad. I just drove straight to the airport and got out. Because, that's my oldest. She a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story with that one. That one right there. Whew. So I was steaming when I dropped off. Boy, she got on my nerve the whole ride. She was tripping. I was so mad, I just drove straight to the airport and hopped out. Baby, bye. She always been like that, though. She difficult, for real. I got 6 kids. My oldest is my daughter. Why she the gangster? Everybody else normal. But yeah, the air marshal got on there, sitting right next to me. I'm saying all that to say, under these circumstances, they're going to be watching your social media. You know what I'm saying? I tell you something else, too. You see some of these people coming over here saying anti-American stuff is the feds. Think about it. They either stupid, they either hate America, or they the feds trying to see who respond, right? You see what I'm saying? You come over here, you the feds, you trolling anybody talking about Iran, and you start saying anti-American stuff, trying to see who bite. You feel me? You mess around and agree with them, and you get a knock at the door. Because the whole time, that was dumb. I'm telling you, that'll be the feds. That'll be the feds trying to pull the enemies out the woodwork. They looking, if you hate America, oh, they looking for you right now. If you're a Muslim, right now, you better be one of them quiet, righteous ones. Yeah, he says it's called counterintelligence to reverse engineer rage bait. Yeah. A lot of people that say they dims is talking crazy. They lights gonna get dimmed too. They talking crazy at the wrong time. They talking crazy. First they losers, because whether you're a Dem or Republican, once the country get in something, then all bets is off. Like I've been watching the Midas touch, and I really don't like them no more, because I used to watch them because it was cool. They had their Democratic, take on the Republicans. But during the war, y'all still with that? It's a war, and they still. I'm like, oh, they tacky. They still on that. Like, you supposed to pause that, let the war get over. Now some people saying Pharaoh, but Trump jumped in something. Hey, listen, man. It's like this. I got a brother, I got a sister. I'm in the 8th grade, she in the 7th grade, or he in the 7th grade. He go up, he start bothering some boy. He should leave the boy alone. My brother's starting it, right? He bothering the boy. The boy gets sick of him. Boom, they get to fighting. Another boy try to jump in. All right, that's still my brother. It ain't finna go like that. So it's like, my take on this is, okay, America, Trump, he be wilding. We know that. He get into a beef with the Iranians. But I'm going to ride with dude, I don't know the Iranians. I'm going to ride out with Trump. Because I know one thing, if they hate dude, they hate me too. And if they try to blow him up, they going to blow me up. I'm over here with Trump. So I don't got no choice. I'm over here with dude. I'm not only with him. If your ass in Texas, Chicago, California, New York, Florida, you a target. You a target. So I'm a target, period. I'm a target. I'm in Chicago. They want news media. They want to hurt America. All right, I'm in one of the places they would want to hurt. It just is what it is. This could go bad. What if the Americans become paranoid of Muslims? See what I'm saying? Because if it's an attack, that's what's going to happen. Like America's going to be paranoid of Muslims. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you, it could go bad. Paranoia starts setting in. Stress, paranoia, gas lines. You can't buy gas on this day and that day. When we was young, we went to Colorado and we went up in the Rocky Mountains and we had a hotel and there was a gas shortage. So we checked out the hotel and went to the gas station, but they had changed the rules where if your license plate end with an even number, you could buy gas this one day. If it end with an odd number, you could buy gas another day. So my daddy car had the number where he couldn't buy gas that day. He couldn't buy gas till the next day. We had to go back to the hotel and check in again and wait till the next day to buy gas. Man, I'm trying to tell them. And New York is a big immigrant city. And in Chicago, we gangbang. So soon as something happen here, it's going to definitely get out of hand. It's going to get out of hand. You ain't going to be able to look nothing like no Iranian. I ain't saying this is something I want to happen. That's going to happen. I ain't saying I'm participating in nothing like that. Don't get it wrong. I'm not promoting no violence. I'm just saying we got lunatics on both sides. And then with some of these people, if they get paranoid, they gonna trip. These people quick say, man, it's the Muslims. Y'all know that's what they gonna say. What they gonna say in America? They're gonna blame the Muslims. They're gonna say it's Muslims. We can't trust these Muslims. That's what they're gonna do. I'm telling you. Especially if you look Middle Eastern, man, listen. Like I keep saying, after 9/11, I was out. I parked the car, get out. I see some shorties. They trying to jump a dude. And when they try to jump dude, I tell them, no, he a Sikh. He was an Indian. He was a Sikh. Will they unite? No, they ain't going to unite. No. They're just going to take care of business and still be different gangs. And the black community, they ain't do all that. They just ain't going to like you as different gangs. They're going to still be different gangs. They just ain't going to like you. They not going to be like USA. They're not doing that. They gangbangers. All they gonna be is look at dude, man. Dude, they're gonna one of them, man, right there, man. That's all they gonna be on. And they gonna be intelligent the way they gonna deal with it. But they not gonna be like, oh, it's a war. We need to unite. No, they're not doing that. They're gonna still be different gangs. Anybody else got any questions about the war and what's going on over there and all of that? Because there's a lot going on. If you got any questions, any thoughts about the war, this is a good time to ask rather than when I'm doing the news. This is the time to ask. Cause all kind of stuff going on, man. I ain't gonna lie. Airstrikes battered Iran and Iranian missiles and drones targeted Israel. I don't know, the Iranian leadership, I don't know what's wrong with them. The combined force of the U.S. and Israel continued to conduct airstrikes targeting Iranian ballistic missile infrastructure to degrade Iran's missile capabilities. Iran cannot win this war. I don't know what's wrong with them. Well, I do know. Their government, the rest of the people hate them. They're a small group. So they can't step down. They would have to flee. Because if they lose power, the Iranian people going to lock them up and do all kind of stuff to them. They've been so cruel to their own people that they really got nowhere to go. That Iranian leadership, because they've been mistreating their own people so bad that they don't got nowhere to go. But they're going to get wiped out. Like, when I watch Americans talk like that Iranians got any chance in the world, I'd be like, these people don't study or I don't think they know what's going on. The Iranians ain't got a chance in the world. The only reason they ain't wiped out because the United States don't want to hurt the innocent Iranians because the rest of the Iranians hate the regime. So they try not to hurt them, just get the regime out. But for people to be like, oh, it's a fair fight, it's only looking like that because the U.S. tried not to hurt the innocent Iranians that hate their government. They just trying to extract that regime. But if it was a straight up beef between America and Iran, they would have been done in 3 days. They're not built like that. They ain't no match for the United States military. They ain't even invested that kind of money that America put into the military. America's not even using their newest weapons or nothing. They don't even want to expose that stuff. So it's crazy people think Iran even got a chance. Like, what? They just not that type of enemy. If they was that type of enemy, they'll get dead just like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. What happened to the Japanese? How that went? 2 punches and they was finished. They still ain't recuperated. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand, man. That's why Russia, even Russia, the way Russia dealing with the Ukraine, Russia could wipe Ukraine out. They just don't want to do it like that. The Ukraine ain't no match for Russia. Russia just don't want to blow them all up. That's all. They just trying to strategically get Zelensky out of there. But if Russia wanted to, Russia could level the Ukraine. Facts. The Ukraine is no match for no Russia. These countries is no match for Russia, China, or America. They just trying to remove that government there, but they don't want to hurt them, the other people. A lot of Russians live in the Donbass region. He don't want to hurt the Russians. He just trying to liberate the Russians. Nobody tell that story. Anybody got any more questions about this war? If not, I'll just end this live. If you got any more questions you want to ask about the war, something you don't understand, this is a good time to ask. So you won't have to ask during the news presentation. I don't like to give my opinion while I'm telling the news. So that's why I do these open discussions so I can give my opinion. I don't want people to think my opinion is the news. And I'm trying to teach black people how to do the news. The news is that's not supposed to be opinionated. The news is just what happened. Is Russia joining the war? Nah. Russia won't get in that. Russia is selling weapons and stuff, just like America sell to Ukraine weapons, but Russia won't get in that because Russia know that America ain't trying to wipe them out. It's not a real war. It's just America trying to extract the leadership out. America's not really at war with Iran. America's trying to remove the Iranian leadership and let the Iranians put some better leadership in there. Russia knows that. Russia knows that America could have just leveled Iran. It could have been a one-day war. They could have blew it out of existence. They could have unalived everybody. It would have just been over. They could have came over with the stealths. Instead of them little bombs they dropping, they could have dropped the big ones. And it would have been over. So that's why I'm saying people that think that's acting like it's a good fight and all that, they don't know nothing about war. This is not a war against Iran. This is the Americans trying to extract the Iranian leadership that's only about 20% so that the 80% could live their lives. 80% of Iranians hate their government. 80%. It's just 20% of them pushing the weirdo Islam they pushing. Them people don't want to do all that. Them people want to enjoy life. They don't want to live under that weirdo religious stuff they doing. You're supposed to be a Muslim on your own. The government ain't supposed to force you to be no Muslim. Who the hell want to live in a religious government forcing you to do the religion they way? Them people crazy that's running that country. They ain't letting people live their own life. All right, you a 90,000-year-old leader. You want to pray all day? Cool. Why I got to do it? I'm 20. I can't have no girlfriend. I'm a 20-year-old woman. I got to be all wrapped up in all this stuff. I might want to put on some shorts and a t-shirt and go to the beach. No, I can't go to the beach in no shorts and t-shirt. I got to be all wrapped up like a swami. Man, ain't nobody trying to hear none of that. I know I wouldn't like it, so I don't blame the Iranian people. They want to be liberated. And that's why, right, for those who's trying to learn, that's why it then moved over into Kurdistan, because the Kurds is the one training the new Iranians to run their country. So that's why the bad Iranians attacked the Kurds today. Because the Kurds is the one came in and training the new Iranian people to run a new Iranian government. So now they blowing up stuff in Kurdistan. Because the Kurds is helping liberate the people. Them people don't want to live under their leadership. So most people think it's a war, right? Yeah, yeah. Imagine everybody got to be Jesus. Everybody. But not the new Christians either. My grandmama and them uh, Christians. Hell no. Uh-uh. Hell no. And then they can't be gay or nothing. How you gonna tell somebody they can't be gay when they're gay? That's crazy. How you gonna tell somebody they can't be gay and they gay? When I was in the county jail, there was a gay dude now, a black dude. I used to tease him all the time. Every day I would tease him. Tell me, when you get out, I'm gonna give you a girlfriend. He like, Pharaoh, I don't want no fish. But dude, he didn't have no money and nobody help him. So I used to give him candy bars and cookies and stuff to wash my clothes. And when he washed your clothes, they'd be bright white. I don't know how he did it. But when he wash your clothes, it'd be bright white. And then when he wash your pants, he'd take them and lay them under his mattress and put the mattress on them. And that's how he would iron them. I used to pay dude commissary because he didn't have no money. He couldn't get no juice. He couldn't get no cookies. He couldn't get nothing. Potato chips. So I would give him a bunch of that stuff to wash my stuff. He was a cool brother. He was just gay. He ain't never flirted with me. So what the hell I care? He ain't never say nothing outline to me. He was just a gay dude. How would I look like trying to ban dude from being gay? That ain't even none of my damn business he gay. That ain't none of my damn business. To me, he was just a black brother. You know what I'm saying? If I would have been in a state of something with him and some Aryans wanted to attack him, I'm not finna let him attack the black brother. I don't give a damn what he is. He's still black. Yeah, leave dude alone. He was cool. He was friendly. He was cool. He was quiet. He stayed out the way. He didn't bother nobody. I treated him just like everybody else, like another person. Well, none of my damn business. And I helped him make some money so he could eat. I had him wash my clothes. Plus, when he washed them, they was whiter than anything. He took pride in doing laundry. I ain't gonna lie. When he washed your socks and stuff, they look like you just bought them. Like, how the hell you get this shit like this in here in this jail? He be in there in that big sink they had a big old bathroom and they had the big sink and he be in there. That's it. He kept all my stuff super, super, super clean. He was a cool brother. He was cool. He never bothered nobody. He was quiet. He stayed out to himself. And that's how he made his money. I used to help brothers. The brothers didn't have no conversation. That's how they made their money. We had brothers who used to draw. Oh, man, we had brothers who used to draw. You write your wife a letter and he draw on it for you. Man, it's some talented brothers, man. We had brothers that was artists in there. You give brother a pack of cookies, man. Then we had brothers with professional letter writers. They used to pay them to write letters. The brother wrote a letter for me and I sent it to my wife. And when I called her, she said, "You ain't write that." I said, "Yeah, I know, but it's nice, ain't it?" She said, "You don't talk like that." You know what I'm saying? She said, you did not write that. I could tell. I was like, shut your ass up. It's the thought that counts. Damn. You mess up a wet dream. Some talented brothers, man. A dude used to wash clothes. The other dude used to draw. I had one dude write the letter, and I had another brother design it. Man, he could draw. Man, he could draw. And then I just signed my name on it. I mean, you could tell I didn't write it. It ain't my handwriting. But it's the thought. You know what I'm saying? But I really wasn't doing it for her anyway. I was trying to help the brothers get some cookies and potato chips or whatever. I was doing it to help the little community in there, the workers, making sure the workers could work. You know, I was a boss. I had a lot of money in there. So that's it. No more questions about the war. We can end this. Any more questions about the war? You got anxiety about the war and what's going on with the war? I can tell you this. Fill your car with gas now. Just go ahead and fill your car with gas. I know it's going to cost a lot, but it's going to cost more if you don't. Next week it's going to be more. So at least if you fill it up, you got a full tank. You could drive like an eighth out of there. All you got to do is put an eighth back in there. Don't go no lower than an eighth. When it go down, put it back up. When it go down, put it back up. Save money. What you're doing is saving that gas, and you still put enough gas in there to go what you got to go. But you know how, like, you have a full tank, you go to work, it go down, you go to work, it go down, you go to work, till down, then you put more. Don't do that. When you go to work and it go down, put it back and save the bulk. Because you might have paid $3 a gallon, but in 2 weeks, that might be $8 a gallon worth. So now when it go down, you only got to put 8 or 16 in there instead of how much you would have to do to fill it all up. So you saving your tank full of the cheaper gas, and you just refilling it so you don't have to come off all that money. Because as soon as it go way up, you're going to park it anyway and only use it more sparingly, but at least you got a full tank. You bought a full tank when it was cheap, and you saved it. Fill that bad boy up now and save it for emergency when you really got to go somewhere. Because it's liable to go up every day, every week. It's liable to go through the roof. Go ahead and get your toilet paper, get your beans, your rice, stack up some water. Get you one of these, a life straw, in case all hell really break off and you have to drink out a dirty pond or something, or drink some water that came off the roof. This will clean it. This is what the missionaries and them take to Africa or South America and horrible places, how they're able to drink water. You better get your survival game together. Don't say I didn't tell you. I'm telling you right now. Don't take this war like no joke. This is not no joke. I don't know what nobody told you, but what this is not is a joke. This is not a joke. So, you know, I'm always doing my survival item of the day, and the survival item of today is a life straw. Every day I'm doing one. Get you a life straw. Because between war and natural disasters, it's going down. Look at the natural disaster in Hawaii. Underwater, they still trying to save people. Look at West Africa. Same thing. Y'all ain't seen what happened. I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow. I'm just trying to wait till I get an update before I do a report on it. Natural disasters is going crazy. War and natural disasters. All right, so that's it on that. Y'all stay positive. Don't get all emotional. And that was the discussion on Iran. Victory.